Hi friends, this is Stevie Lynn from Crunchy Anarchy, and I want to answer the question as to why I wear a cross as a progressive Christian or a Christian with progressive political values. And the reason is because symbols matter. Symbols shape narratives, and narratives shape what feels normal, justified, and inevitable in a culture. In fact, narratives create the paths that power flows through. Right now, the cross means different things to different people. For many, it has come to symbolize power, conquest, certainty, and control. This seems to be an appropriation of its symbolism by power. As we all know, that the cross is supposed to represent humility, grace, truth, and love, values that don't typically support empire building, and therefore are not promoted. In fact, they are suppressed. And this creates real resonance for people who want to wear the cross to reflect those values of humility, truth, love, and grace. But they feel that they can't. And it's not because their faith is lost, although it might actually feel that way, because the public meaning of the symbol no longer matches the life that they are trying to live. The outside no longer matches the inside. In a strange way, this is a style problem, because style is really about alignment, about the outside matching what's true on the inside. And that can be very empowering to a person, because it's a constant reminder of who you are, where you're going, your path. You know, it's like your style can become your mantra. When the alignment breaks, you don't feel like yourself anymore, and you lose confidence because you lose direction. And when the thing itself still reflects something deeply true within you. And that's what's happening with the cross. It hasn't lost its meaning at all. It's just its public meaning has been totally distorted. Something that once functioned as a touchstone, something that gave clarity, safety, validation, and direction, no longer feels accessible in that same way. And of course, you don't want people assuming things about you that aren't true. That's extremely invalidating and uncomfortable. What a brilliant way to control people, right? Instinctively. It's embedded right into our human operating system. It's our Achilles heel. That's why I still wear the cross. And I want to tell you what the cross does for me. This might actually surprise you. Because for me, wearing the cross, it doesn't steady me or give me comfort. In fact, it actually unsettles me. It unsettles me because it reminds me that I have chosen a different path and that I need to stick to that path. And that is kind of, it's a path less traveled. And it's the way that Jesus said was possible through faith. It's a way that refuses domination, force, letting power decide for me what is true. I don't wear the cross because I focus on Jesus' death, except as a reminder to choose love over domination and truth over force, even at the risk of suffering, because that's what he did. And that suffering is dished out by systems of domination, punish whatever gets in the way of their expansion and extraction. In fact, those systems are designed to punish us for wearing a cross or any symbol in a way that doesn't pay allegiance to them. This is exactly why appropriation is violent and coercive, but it's also why we need reminders to push through the suffering that they inflict, to not let them win. That's why I wear the cross. I think of Jesus as someone who lived in a radically different way as a human, and he still lives. The empty cross represents the living Christ, and I'm reminded that he's walking beside me on this very different path. Do I wear it to reclaim the symbol? No, it's not really about that. It's not about conquest. In fact, it's a refusal of conquest. It's a refusal to let conquerors appropriate symbols of love, grace, and humility. Wearing it is a way of re-inhabiting the symbol, not occupying it, not by claiming ownership of it, but by restoring its meaning through how I live while I wear it.